I'm sure most of you have heard of the term probate before. I know it's gotten a really bad reputation and it's a really scary term, but what is it? Probate is the court-supervised process of transferring assets from the deceased person to their beneficiaries. And ultimately, whether your assets go through probate or not depends on how they are actually titled. If you pass away and you have an asset in your name alone, so no joint ownership, no beneficiaries, that asset must go through probate before it is distributed. Here in Florida, we have two forms of probate. The first one is known as a formal administration and the other one is known as a summary. A formal administration is a full-blown probate. It normally takes anywhere from 6 months to a year, but it ultimately depends on the complexity of the assets. Does everyone get along? Is the personal representative doing their job? So there are a lot of factors that go into the time frame. And I've had my fair share of probates that go anywhere from 2 years to 3 years, so they do last a long time. And these assets cannot be distributed until the probate is over. In a formal administration, there is about 15 documents that are filed. That's the minimum. Basically, we explain to the judge who the beneficiaries are. We admit a will, if there is one. And really the first step is to get a personal representative appointed. Once a personal representative is appointed, they are handed what are known as letters of administration. This allows them to access the assets. This allows them to call the bank, sell assets, basically what we need to do to create an inventory. An inventory is required, and basically it is the list of the estate assets and what the value of those are. Once we know that, we then publish a notice to creditors in the newspaper. This alerts any creditors that the decedent may have had, and they have a 3-month period to file a claim with the state. If they do not file a claim, their claim is barred and they can never come after the estate ever again. So that's really good news. Once we are done with all of that, the assets are able to be distributed and we can close out the estate. Right now in Florida, you have to do a formal administration if the assets are more than $75,000. So if you're over that amount, you're looking at a formal administration. And in a formal administration, an attorney right now is able to charge 3% of the assets that go through probate. So that's a lot. Think about that. And the personal representative is also allowed to charge that same fee for their job. The second form of a probate is known as a summary administration. You are able to do this when the assets are less than $75,000 or if the decedent has been deceased for more than 2 years. This is a very short form of probate. It normally lasts 1 to 2 months, and the fee is a lot less than a formal administration.